Hi ladies, Mrs. Ferguson has asked me to put together a little video about who I am and what I do, so here goes. My name is Gemma Mossop, and you can probably see from my surroundings, but I am a primary school teacher. My classroom has never looked so tidy. I left Godolphin in 2006 and went straight out to Melbourne to do a gap year teaching position. I was there for 6 months and I worked with a reception and a year 1 class. Absolutely loved it, and that is actually what inspired me to become a teacher. However, I first went to Cardiff University to study music and Spanish, thanks to Mr. Highcock and Senorita Avila. And I did my, in my 3rd year there, it was that I realised that I just wanted to go into teaching. So I then did a PGCE, which is a 1-year qualification after a degree, and you there gain QTS, Qualified Teacher Status. So I did a 1-year course, and actually for anyone who's keen to go into education, I would definitely recommend doing a PGCE rather than a 4-year degree. After that, I worked in the state sector for a year in Salisbury. I worked at a school called Manor Fields. Again, anyone thinking about going into education, I would definitely recommend going into the state sector for at least a year, if not 2. The experience you gain in the state sector is completely invaluable, and if you end up then going into the independent sector, it will be really useful. After that, I went to Lyhurst Swan, where I worked for 3 years, and then after that I moved to London. I'm now in my 6th year at a school called Thomas's Battersea. I am head of maths here, and I'm also deputy head of safeguarding, so I'm quite ambitious. As I've sort of grown in my career, I've also started to move through the ranks, and I'm now in a position of middle management and middle leadership, so I'm sort of moving up through the ranks as well. What do I spend my day doing? My goodness, teaching is never the same 2 days in a row. So I spend my day teaching and planning, and I spend my day marking, I spend my day in meetings, I spend my day patching up arguments that happened in the playground, I spend my day doing duties. It's constantly changing, it's constantly different, and actually that's one of the things I love about teaching, is that it's always different, it's never the same 2 days in a row. In terms of being a good teacher, those people who are flexible, you have to be flexible. You can plan everything that could possibly go wrong in a classroom. You can plan for this, you can plan for that, you can make sure you've got your lessons perfectly prepared, perfectly organised, and then suddenly in the middle of the lesson a bee will fly into the room, or a bird will hit the window, and hell will break loose. So you can plan perfectly, but you have to be flexible. You have to be able to just wing it sometimes and think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? Both things that have actually happened while I've been teaching, by the way. You have to be a good communicator. You work with people 24/7, so you have to be able to have those conversations, even with people that you don't necessarily get on terribly well with. You have to be good at communicating and make sure that everything that you're doing is for the children you teach. You have to be positive, even if you're having a rubbish day and you went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. You have to come in and be positive, because it's one of those rare roles where everything that you do will impact on the people that the children are, everything that I do, they respond to me, so I have to be positive all the time, which is hard work and exhausting, but it's actually incredibly rewarding and valuable. Things I love about my job. Every day is different. I love the fact that it's not an office. I'm not sitting at a screen, I'm not staring into a screen, I'm not typing into an Excel spreadsheet all the time. I love the fact that every day is different. I love the fact that children are funny and will come up with hilarious stories, and it's incredibly rewarding just the whole time. I love seeing children who I have taught in the past come up to me and say, Mrs. Mossop, I remember when you taught me 5 years ago about apostrophes, or something much cooler than that, but I love it when they come up to me and they say, I remember that lesson we did where we ate Skittles, and I say, do you remember anything else about the lesson? And they say, no, but we had Skittles, and I think, oh well, at least they remember something. In terms of challenges, it's incredibly emotionally draining. It's very hard work. I almost want to cry when people come up to me and say, oh, you're a teacher, you get such amazingly long holidays. And I think, yeah, because I work twice as hard as everyone else during school hours. But it honestly is the most rewarding job. In terms of advice for my 16-year-old self, I would say probably for job interviews or university interviews, whatever you do, make sure you do as much research as possible. If you are that person who's done the research and can give an interesting fact about the school that you're applying for or the company that you're going for, then you'll be that person that sparkles. You'll be the one they say, oh, do you remember that person? She remembered the fact that this building was built in 1708 or whatever it is. Do your research. Keep up with current affairs. I wish I'd been on top of the news and current affairs and politics when I was 16. I just wasn't interested. And now it's something that I find I'm ambitious. I want to do more. I want to help the children I teach, and actually without understanding how my job impacts the wider community, I can't do that. So keep on top of the news and current affairs. Take time for yourself. It is so important that you have that Thursday afternoon cinema trip with friends, or you have that glass of wine on a Friday night, or you have that chocolate bar at 9 o'clock in the morning. If that's what you want to do it. Make sure that you take time for yourself. And finally, it doesn't matter if you are not the most popular, if you're not the most sporty, if you're not the most musical. It doesn't matter if at school you don't find your feet. I didn't actually find my feet until I was at least 26 or 27, and it's only as a teacher that I finally realised where I am supposed to be in life. And I wish I'd been able to tell my 16-year-old self that actually it doesn't matter if you're not the most popular, it doesn't matter if you're not the most musical, you will find that role. And when you do, when you find that career that you're supposed to be part of, or when you find that role that you're supposed to be part of, you will thrive and you will flourish and you will love it. So don't worry if that's not until you're 25, 26, 27, 30, it doesn't matter, you will get there. So the only other thing I've got to say is that if there is anyone who is considering going into education, please do contact me. I'd be more than happy to answer emails or have a chat or have a Zoom, whatever it is. Please do get in contact. I'd be more than happy to help. Mrs. Ferguson has my details, and also if there's anyone who ever wants a bit of work experience in London, please do get in touch. I'd be more than happy to help OGs out. And in the meantime, best of luck with all the career choices. Bye.